The day I gave birth to my daughter, my assistant called, Director Song, the Family Foundation's annual dividend of 3 billion has arrived. Should it be transferred to President Cheng's card? I just said transfer, and the assistant's voice changed. Miss, the system shows the familial relationship has been removed. It was President Cheng who personally submitted the divorce filing 3 days ago. I paused for a moment, then burst into laughter. Cheng Yangju took the opportunity while I was lying on the delivery bed to file for divorce. I picked up my phone and dialed the foundation line. Clear out all funds injected into Cheng's tech, 10 billion, not a single cent left. The due date moved up by 10 days. At 3 in the morning, the amniotic fluid suddenly broke. Cheng Yangju wasn't at home. Grandmother, he usually said he was working late at the company and told me not to make a scene. I called 120 myself, and I lay alone in the ambulance. The nurse asked the family. I said there weren't any. She glanced at me and didn't ask again. The labor lasted 6 hours. The contractions felt like knives cutting into my bones. I didn't scream, because no one would hear me anyway. Before going into the delivery room, I called Cheng Yangju 3 times. But he didn't answer. I called my mother-in-law twice and she answered, saying, "It's just having a baby, don't be so delicate," and then hung up. At 9:42 in the morning my daughter was born. She weighed 6 jin and 3 liang and her cry was piercing. The nurse carried my daughter to the side of my face. Her small face was crumpled, and her eyes had not opened yet. I reached out and touched her fingers. She immediately clenched my index finger, gripping it tightly. The phone rang. Not Cheng Yangju, it's my personal assistant, Fang Yu. General Song, the Family Foundation's annual dividend has been credited. Fang Yu is the only person I brought out from the Song family. In the entire Cheng family, no one knows of her existence. They only think I'm an ordinary woman who grew up in an orphanage, unworthy of Cheng Yangju, the self-made tech prodigy. How much? 3 billion, already all transferred to your private account. I pulled my daughter closer to my chest. Transfer it to Yang Ju's card. The R&D funds for Cheng's technology for the next quarter should be allocated. There was silence on the other end of the line. Fang Yu, miss. Fang Yu's voice tightened. I was just about to transfer money when the system popped up a notification. Your familial affiliation has been cleared. What do you mean? It's Mr. Cheng. Mr. Cheng submitted a divorce application to the Civil Affairs System 3 days ago. According to the Family Foundation Management Regulations, once the spousal relationship is dissolved, joint accounts are automatically frozen, and the authority to transfer funds is terminated. The hand holding the phone did not tremble. The other hand, which was holding the daughter, also did not tremble. 3 days ago, yes, at 3:20 p.m. 3 days ago, Cheng Yangju personally submitted a divorce application at the Dongcheng Civil Affairs Bureau with his ID card. The system shows that the reason for divorce he chose is emotional breakdown. 3 days ago, I was 1 week away from my due date. That day, Cheng Yangju accompanied me to the prenatal checkup. The doctor said the fetus was healthy and he smiled and said, "Hard work, wife." That night he said he had something at the company and went out. It turned out he didn't go to the company, he went to the Civil Affairs Bureau. Miss, there is one more detail. Speak. The divorce application is filed unilaterally. According to the process, after the 7-day cooling-off period ends, if the applicant does not withdraw, the divorce automatically takes effect. Today is the 3rd day. There are 4 days left. 4 days later, I will have no legal relation to Cheng Yangju. I froze for a second, then I burst into laughter. The nurse jumped in fright, thinking I was having postnatal mood swings, and hurried over to check. I waved my hand, signaling her to go outside. Fang Yu, I am here. Activate the emergency plan. Which level? The highest level, Plan 0. Fang Yu drew a sharp breath. Plan 0 is the topmost item in the Song family's emergency mechanism when the heir faces marital betrayal and the risk of asset encroachment, triggering a full withdrawal of funds. Empty all funds injected into Chen's technology. 100 billion, not a penny left. Understood. The program to drain has been initiated. Complete withdrawal of all funds is expected within 48 hours. And also, you command, check. 3 days ago Cheng Yangju filed for divorce. There must be a reason. Whom did he keep outside? How long? How big is the belly? Find out clearly for me. Have already found out. Fang Yu's efficiency has never disappointed me. The person Cheng Yangju kept outside is Fang Ruoqing, Fang Deming's daughter. Fang Deming, the second largest shareholder of Cheng's technology, holds 18%. Fang Ruoqing is pregnant 6 months, a boy, 6 months. 6 months ago, Cheng Yangju said he would go to Shenzhen to discuss an investment, and he left for half a month. I ironed 15 shirts for him, folded them, and packed them into the suitcase. On the morning he set off, I was exactly 3 months pregnant and I threw up everything. He didn't pour me a single glass of water. Miss, there is one more thing. Speak. Fang Ruoqing is 6 months pregnant, but 6 months ago she wasn't in the country. Immigration records show she spent all of last year studying in the UK and only returned in February. That's exactly 4 months ago. For months, but the baby is 6 months along. The child is not Cheng Yenzhou's. Most likely not. I put my daughter in the nearby crib. She sleeps soundly, completely unaware that her father had already decided not to keep her 3 days ago. Fang Yu, help me arrange for someone. Who? Fang Daming. There was a pause on the other end of the line. Miss Fang Deming is. I know who he is, do as I say. I hung up and dialed Cheng Yenzhou's number. This time he picked up. Wife, congratulations, I was in a meeting just now and didn't answer the phone. His voice jumped as if it were real. I heard from the nurse, daughter, 6 pounds 3 taels, you've suffered. I'll be at the hospital right away. No rush. How can I not hurry? I've become a father. Cheng Yangju. He could tell from my tone that something was off and the cheerful voice melted away. What happened? 3 days ago, what were you doing at the Civil Affairs Bureau? The other end of the line fell deathly quiet. Which Civil Affairs Bureau? I don't know what you're talking about. Did my mom say something to you again? She's such a gossip, don't take it to heart. Do you need me to send you the Civil Affairs Bureau's surveillance footage? Silence, a long silence, then Cheng Yenzhou's voice changed. It turned cold, it no longer sounded like him. You checked me. 3 days ago you filed for divorce in 4 more days. The divorce will automatically take effect. I tucked my daughter's small blanket. Cheng Yangju, you divorced me while I was lying on the delivery bed. Since you already know, I won't pretend anymore. His voice completely tore off the disguise. Song Ci, let's part on good terms. In these 3 years I, Cheng Yangju, haven't treated you badly. I've had the divorce agreement drafted by the lawyer. You sign and I'll give you 5 million. That's enough for you to spend for the rest of your life. 5 million. Too little. Song Ci, you grew up in an orphanage. In these 3 years of marrying me, Cheng Yangju, have I treated you poorly in your daily needs? 5 million isn't a small amount. Go out and ask around. Which man divorces and gives his ex-wife 5 million? I smiled a little. Cheng Yangju, whose money is in your company? He was taken aback for a moment. What do you mean whose? I earned it myself. 3 years ago, Cheng Technologies had only 8 million in the account. You met with 27 investors and not one of them invested. Then suddenly an investment of 200 million came in, and you were brought back from the brink. Who made that investment? That was invested by the Song Fund. It has. He stopped. Song Foundation. Song Ci, why you? What is your relationship with the Song Foundation? Cheng Yangju, you don't even know what your wife's surname is. My surname is Song, as in the Song family business empire. There was the sound of something breaking on the other end of the phone. Impossible, you're an orphan. I checked your records. You grew up in an orphanage. I entered the orphanage at 15. That was arranged by my father. It was so I'd learn how to tell whether someone is sincere with me, or after the Song family's money. Cheng Yenzhou's breathing grew heavy. So what if your surname is Song? Song Family Fund investing in Cheng Technology is a business matter. It has nothing to do with you personally. Clause 27 of the investment agreement, you signed it yourself. It says all funds attached to this investment are to be fully allocated by Ms. Song Ci, heir of the Song Family Fund. She has the right at any time, for any reason or no reason, to withdraw the entire investment. There was no sound from Cheng Yangju on the other end of the line. 3 days ago, the moment you filed for divorce, my authorization automatically became void. According to the agreement, all investments from the Song Family Fund will be withdrawn within 48 hours. 10 billion, not a single cent will remain. You're crazy. Cheng Yenzhou's voice shot up. If you pull the investment out of Cheng Corporation Technology, it's over. The stock price will crash. Suppliers will run for the exits. You're asking for my life. Were you thinking of taking my life when you filed for divorce? I hung up the phone. Our daughter is still sleeping. The nurse pushed the door open. Ms. Song, there's a Mr. Cheng outside, says he wants to see you. Make him wait. I picked up my phone and saw a text from Cheng Yangju sent 30 seconds ago. Song Ci, don't regret it. Cheng's technology can live without you. If Fang Ruoqing is carrying a son, the Fang family's business will belong to him in the future. You gave birth to a girl, what will you use to fight me? I screenshot this text message and sent it to Fang Yu, attached a sentence. Find out the source of funds for Fang's previous round of financing. I want Fang Deming to personally come and beg me. After sending it, I picked up my daughter. She opened her eyes, her black bright pupils staring at me. Baby, I said, Mommy will teach you your first lesson. Never let anyone think you're easy to bully. Outside the door, Cheng Yanzhou's footsteps grew closer. The door was pushed open. He burst in, his face sweaty and his tie askew. Song Ci, make yourself clear. I lifted my head and looked at him, looking at the man who 3 days ago during a prenatal check held my hand and said, You've worked hard, wife. Looking at the man who kept another woman outside, carried someone else's seed in his belly and still tried to drive me out when I was giving birth. I smiled. President Cheng, did you bring the divorce agreement I will sign? Before Yangju could react, the hospital ward door was pushed open again. He usually strode in high heels, wearing a bright red suit, lips painted vivid red. Behind her followed a young woman about 25 or 26, with a slightly swollen belly, wearing a pale beige maternity dress, holding a basket of fruit in her hand. Fang Ruoqing, oh, already given birth. He usually glanced at the baby crib, the corner of her mouth drooping. Miss Girl. She didn't even hug him once. Mom. Cheng Yanzhou's face looked even worse. Who told you to call me Mom? He usually sat down on the sofa, crossing one leg over the other. Anyway, you're going to part ways, Song Ci, since you just gave birth today and you're awake. Let's speak frankly. She pointed to Fang Ruoqing behind her. This is Ruoqing, the daughter of Fang Deming. The child in her belly is Yanzhou's son, 6 months along. The Fang family has already promised that as long as Yangju divorces and marries Ruoqing, the Fang family will invest 500 million yuan in Chengsha Tech in the next round of financing. Ruoqing stepped forward 2 paces and placed the fruit basket on the bedside table. Sister Song Ci, her voice was soft, I know you're hurting, but love can't be forced. Yangju and you have been married for 3 years and not a single son has been born. What's in my belly is the Cheng family's lineage. You're a woman too, you should understand. I looked at the fruit basket, apples, bananas, oranges, the cheapest kind of fruit basket in the supermarket. Understood, I said. I understand. In particular, he usually didn't expect me to be so easy to talk to, and her eyes brightened. If you understand, that's good. Then about the divorce agreement. Mom, Cheng Yangju cut her off. Don't speak yet. Why can't you speak? Didn't you say you would tell her clearly? Today, the situation has changed. Cheng Yangju lowered his voice. What her? She grew up in an orphanage. Marrying into our Cheng family would be a step up. Now tell her to give up her place. Give her 5 million, that's generous enough. He usually stood up, walked to the bedside, looking down at me from a superior height. Song Ci, I'll tell you something from the bottom of my heart. When Yangju married you, I didn't agree. An orphan with no family background, not worthy of Yangju. In these 3 years you've had food and clothing in the Cheng family. You should be content. Now if Ching's belly is carrying a child of the Cheng family, you'd be giving birth to a girl. What use would a girl have in the future? The Cheng family's business cannot be handed to a girl, right? I looked at Cheng Yangju. Do you feel the same way? Cheng Yangju opened his mouth but said nothing. Fang Ruoqing hooked her arm through his, pushing her belly forward. Yangju, tell her, didn't you say she'd sign after she gave birth? My dad's lawyer has already drafted the divorce agreement. 5 million, not a cent less. She's an orphan, she'll never earn that much in her lifetime. 5 million. A voice came from the doorway. Fang Yu stood in the doorway holding a document. Mrs. Cheng. She stepped in and handed me the paper. The thing you asked for. I took it and flipped through it casually. Miss Fang. I looked up. Are you saying the baby in your belly is Cheng Yanzhou's son? Of course. Fang Ruoqing stuck out her belly. 6 months along. I had an ultrasound. It's a boy. 6 months ago. Where were you? Fang Ruoqing's expression changed. I'm in China. The immigration records show that from last September to this February you have been studying at the University of Birmingham in the United Kingdom. You only entered back into the country on February 14. I flipped to the page with the immigration records. Today is August 3. You've been back in the country for exactly 170 days, not yet 6 months. Fang Ruoqing's face paled. Even if I only came back in February, I could have gotten pregnant while I was in the UK. Yang Ju went to Britain to see me last December. Cheng Yangju went to Shenzhen last December. I pulled out another page of documents. This is his flight record for the whole of last year. He had no outbound records at all. The ward fell silent. He Yuji's expression changed. Ruoqing, what's going on? Fang Ruoqing released Cheng Yanzhou's arm and took a step back. The child isn't Yanzhou's. He Yuji's voice sharpened. It's Yangju's, it's Yangju's. Fang Ruoqing suddenly cried. The dates on the ultrasound report were miscalculated by the doctor. The child is Yangju's. Cheng Yangju stood where he was, his face ashen. He looked at Fang Ruoqing, then at me, his lips moving. Whose seed is in your belly anyway? His voice squeezed out through his teeth. Fang Ruoqing cried even harder. I leaned against the headboard watching this farce. Miss Fang, I suggest you go discuss this with the child's biological father right now because your father Fang Deming's Fang Corporation just received a 300 million bridging loan from Cheng Corporation yesterday. That sum is the last cash flow in Cheng Corporation's accounts. Fang Ruoqing's crying abruptly stopped. What bridge loan? You don't know, your father's company looks prosperous on the surface, but in reality the cash flow has been broken for half a year. He rushed to marry you off to Cheng Yangju not for an alliance but to get funds from Cheng Corporation to plug the holes in Fang Industrial. Fang Ruoqing's face completely drained of color. He Yuji lunged forward and grabbed Fang Ruoqing's arm. Your father's company is going under. No, she's lying. Fang Ruoqing screamed. Whether I'm lying or not, President Cheng knows best. I looked at Cheng Yangju. The 300 million Fang Deming transferred from your company's account last week was approved by you. It was done using the joint account authorization. Cheng Yangju suddenly turned his head to look at me. A joint account requires 2 signatures. I didn't sign, so how did that money get withdrawn? Fang Deming said you agreed. What did he use to trick you into signing? Cheng Yangju pulled out a document from his briefcase and upon opening it, he saw his name clearly on the signature line and a signature imitating his handwriting. This is forged, I said. Cheng Yangju flung the document into Fang Ruoqing's face. You father and daughter teamed up to lie to me. Fang Ruoqing stumbled back 2 steps from the hit, her makeup completely ruined by tears. He Yuji had already collapsed on the sofa, muttering, 300 million, 300 million. I looked at this whole family 3 days ago when Cheng Yangju filed for divorce. He probably never dreamed things would turn out like this. Fang Yu, I spoke. Here. How much does Fangsha Industries owe the banks? Principal plus interest totals 1.2 billion. It's due on the 3rd of next month. With Fangsha's current cash flow they won't make it. Notify all the banks that Song Foundation will not provide any guarantees for Fangsha Industries. For the 500 million loan personally guaranteed by Fang Deming, we recommend the bank call it in early. Fang Ruoqing collapsed to her knees with a thud. Sister Song Ci, please, I beg you, don't mess with my father's company. I was wrong. I shouldn't have deceived Yangju. The child really isn't Yanzhou's. He's my boyfriend from England. He left me and my father made me come back to find Yangju. He said that as long as I could marry into the Cheng family, the Fang family could survive. He Yuji leaped up from the sofa and slapped Fang Ruoqing across the face. Bitch, you presented someone else's bastard as the Cheng family's grandson. Fang Ruoqing covered her face and cried. Cheng Yangju stood in the middle of the hospital room like a tree stump struck by lightning. He slowly turned his head and looked at me. Song Ci, who are you really? I am the person you thought you could just throw away when you filed for divorce. I picked up my phone and dialed a number. Is this Director Deming? This is Song Ci. Come to Renan Hospital right now. We need to talk about your daughter's situation in person. On the other end of the line, Fang Deming's voice carried an almost uncontrollable panic. Song. President Song. Which President Song? Song Foundation. Song Ci. I heard a chair clatter over the phone. I'll be right there, right there. I hung up. Fang Yu leaned in and said softly in my ear, Miss. The fund withdrawal progress has reached 60%. By 10 a.m. tomorrow the entire 10 billion will be withdrawn. Cheng Corporation's stock opened down 34% and has already triggered a circuit breaker. I nodded. He usually couldn't hear what Fang Yu was saying, but she saw the Song Foundation's gold embossed emblem on the document Fang Yu handed me. Song, the Song Foundation. He Yuji's voice trembled. Are you with the Song Foundation? Mom, I said. No, MS. You just said I grew up in an orphanage with no family or background, unworthy of your son. You're right, I really am unworthy. I placed that notarization of the Song Family Foundation heir on the bedside table, because I am the sole heir of the Song Family Foundation, the person in charge of the 30 billion family fund, your son Cheng's technology, from the 200 million that was revived 3 years ago to every subsequent round of financing. I invested in all of them 100 billion, Yuji's eyeballs nearly popped out. You are of the Song family. When your son went to the Civil Affairs Bureau to submit the divorce application 3 days ago, he probably forgot to check the signature page of the investment agreement. It clearly has my name on it, Song CI, the sole heir of the Song business empire. Yuji supported herself on the sofa and slowly slid down, collapsing to sit on the floor. Cheng Yanzhou's face had already drained of color. 10 billion all invested by you, every penny from the Angel round to Series D, it's all my money. Why didn't you tell me? I told you, how would I know whether you marry me or the Song family's money? Cheng Yangju opened his mouth, but couldn't say a single word. Urgent footsteps sounded from outside the door. Fang Deming rushed in covered in sweat. He saw his daughter kneeling on the ground crying. He saw Yuji sprawled on the sofa. He saw Cheng Yangju with a pale face. Finally he saw me leaning against the hospital bed. Song, General Song. I handed him Fang Ruoqing's ultrasound report and immigration records. Deming General, the child in your daughter's belly is not Cheng Yanzhou's. You took someone else's child, pretended he was a Cheng family grandson, and deceived for the betrothal and the bridge loan. How do you want to settle this account? Fang Deming's knees went weak, and he knelt beside his daughter. General Song, please show mercy and be gracious. The loan of 1-2 billion from the Fang family is due next month. If you force the bank to collect early, our company Deming will be finished. When you allied with Cheng Yangju to short Chengsha Technology, did you ever think there would be a day like this? Fang Deming suddenly looked up. Cheng Yangju also suddenly turned his head. Short-selling Chengsha Technology. Cheng Yanzhou's voice changed. Fang Deming, in the investment agreement you signed with me, there's a short-selling clause. Fang Deming's face twisted. President Song, please let me explain. No need to explain. I picked up my phone and played a recording. Fang Deming fell flat on his back. Blood spurted from his nose. Fang Ruoqing screamed. Yuji was frightened into stupidity. I turned off the recording. Deming, this recording is you and your vice president's conversation. Your vice president sold this recording to Song's Foundation Intelligence Department 3 months ago. The deal price was 2 million. Fang Deming covered his nose, blood flowing from between his fingers, his eyes bulging. You knew all along. From the day your daughter first appeared before Chen Yangju, I already knew. I look at the people in this room. Miss you look down on my background and want to pair my son with a suitable family. After searching, you found a fraud. Miss Fang, the father of the child in your belly, is an Englishman named James Miller. He has 3 girlfriends in Birmingham. After he dumped you, your father told you to return to the country to pursue Cheng Yangju. By the time you came, you didn't even have a chance to terminate the pregnancy. Mr. Deming, you forged 20 billion in emptiness for Chengsha Technology. I've already allowed the Song Family Fund to go long in retaliation. By tomorrow's market open, your losses will exceed 12 billion. Fang Industrial can prepare for bankruptcy liquidation. Fang Deming lay on the ground, convulsed with trembling. In the end, I looked at Cheng Yangju. CEO Cheng, when you went to the Civil Affairs Bureau to file for divorce 3 days ago, you chose Jera's rupture affection as the reason for divorce. Now you tell me, when did our relationship fall apart? Cheng Yanzhou's tears flowed down. Song CI, I was wrong. I was deceived by Fang Ruoqing. I was deceived by her father. Please forgive me this time. The day you filed for divorce was the 39th week of my pregnancy. I could give birth at any moment. You chose that day to file for divorce because you wanted me to sign on the delivery bed or to keep me from leaving the delivery room altogether. Cheng Yangju knelt down. Song CI, please, the company can't do without your money. If the 100 billion is withdrawn, Chengsha Technology will be finished. Can't finish it. I picked up my phone and dialed Fang Yu's number. Fang Yu, there are changes to the withdrawal order. Miss, please command. 10 billion withdraw. Understood. Cheng Yangju let out a howl like a beast. But, I continued, the withdrawn 10 billion in the name of the Song Family Foundation will be re-injected into Cheng's Technologies. The shareholding ratio will be raised from the original 34% to 67%. Fang Yu paused. Miss, This means that the absolute controlling stake of Cheng's technologies will belong to the Song Family Foundation. I know, Mr. Cheng Yangju will lose control of the company. I know. Do we need to notify Mr. Cheng? No need to notify, he is kneeling in front of me right now and he can hear clearly. Cheng Yangju knelt on the ground, his whole body as if his bones had been pulled out. From the founder of Chengsha Technology, he had become someone working for Song Family Fund, barely any equity left. Not a single penny. Song CI, you can't do this. I can. Clause 27 of the investment agreement. You signed it. From the moment you filed for divorce, you agreed to all of this. I picked up the divorce agreement from the nightstand drafted by Fang Deming's lawyer. It states, the husband pays the wife 5 million yuan. The wife waives all financial rights. I signed. Throw the agreement in front of Cheng Yangju. Your 5 million, I don't want a penny, but 1 billion for Chengsha Technology. I won't leave a single cent. I signed the divorce agreement. It automatically takes effect in 4 days. Now take your mom, take your mistress, take your mistress's father and get out of my ward. 10 o'clock the next morning, Cheng's tech stock price hit the floor on the open. 100 billion in capital withdrew within 48 hours, and Cheng's tech's cash reserves plummeted from 3 billion to 300 million. Suppliers rushed to the headquarters, holding signs reading "Pay us back." Employees gathered at the HR office, demanding early severance payments. Cheng Yangju is trapped in the office and the debt-collecting noise outside the door can be heard through 3 stories. His phone is inundated with calls, banks, suppliers, shareholders, media. Every call asks the same question. President Cheng, where did the money go? He didn't dare to answer. Fang Deming fared even worse. Fangsha Industrial's 1.2 billion loan was demanded to be repaid early by 5 banks at once. The 7 houses, 3 cars, and 2 yachts under Fang Deming's name were all seized by the court. Fang Ruoqing's ultrasound report was exposed by the media, headlined "Shocking Scam of a Wealthy Marriage, Fake Pregnancy to Deceive Marriage and Short Sell for Profit." Father and daughter of the Fang family both crash. Fang Ruoqing hid at home and didn't dare go out. Her ex-boyfriend from the UK, James Miller, posted on social media, "To my Chinese girlfriend, thanks for the drama. Best wishes to you and your fake baby." Fang Ruoqing smashed her mobile phone in the Cheng family villa. He usually lay on the living room sofa, gripping a bottle of quick-acting heart-saving pills in her hand. 100 billion all gone. She kept muttering, 100 billion, Cheng Yenzhou's father, Cheng Dehu, rushed back from out of town and slapped He Yuji as soon as he walked in. "Well done, you've done a good deed. You found a good match for your son. That be *TCH from the Fang family. You brought her in." He Yuji covers her face and cries, "I don't know, she's a liar. I thought the Fang family really had money. You think you'll think forever." Cheng Dehu bangs his briefcase on the coffee table. Chengsha Technology is the result of 10 years of Mayan Yenzhou's hard work. It's all ruined by your "you think." "What's the use of scolding me now?" He Yuji screams. "It's all that be *TCH Song CI. She's clearly so rich, yet pretends to be an orphan. If she had just said she was the heir of the Song family earlier, how could I have found someone else for Yangju?" Cheng Dehu looked at his wife as if she were crazy. "Do you still think it's someone else's fault?" "It has always been her fault. She lied to our whole family." There was a knock at the door from outside. The nanny opened the door. 2 lawyers in black suits stood at the door. "Is this MS He Yuji's residence?" He Yuji stood up. "Who are you?" "We are legal representatives of the Song Family Foundation." The lawyer handed over a document. "This is a lawyer's letter commissioned by MS Song CI regarding MS He Yuji's repeated public insults and defamation of MS Song CI over the past 3 years. We will initiate legal proceedings. Here is the list of evidence." He Yuji took the file and opened it. The first page is a text conversion of a voice message she posted in the family group last spring festival. "That hen Song CI who never laid eggs. After 3 years of marriage, not a single movement in her belly. My son marrying her is definitely the luckiest bad deal in 8 lifetimes." The second page is a text conversion of a recording of her conversations with mahjong partners at the table. "My daughter-in-law was raised in an orphanage, no father or mother, really unlucky. Once she gives birth to a son, I'll have Yangju divorce her." Page 3 is a screenshot of the WeChat message she sent to Cheng Yangju 2 months ago. "Son, I've looked at the Fang girl, pretty, good family, and she's carrying a boy. Hurry up and take care of Song CI. If she refuses to leave, Tell people she has postpartum depression, take the baby away and make her leave with nothing. Page 4, page 5, page 6, 23 pages of evidence. Yuji's hands began to tremble. How did you get these? The lawyer smiled. The Song Foundation's information system covers the entire country. Every word you have spoken in any setting, as long as it involves Madam Song CI, will be recorded over the past 3 years. You have made a total of 147 insulting and defamatory statements. For every single one, we have preserved evidence. Yuji's legs went weak. How do you want to proceed? First, a public apology. Publish an apology statement in no fewer than 3 national media outlets. Second, compensate MS Song CI with 5 million yuan for spiritual damages. Third, sign a guarantee to promise not to publish inappropriate remarks about MS Song CI in any future occasion. 5 million. Why don't you go grab it instead? If you refuse, we will file a lawsuit directly. According to relevant laws, Article 147, defaming statements, each shall be fined between 5,000 and 50,000 yuan. Calculated at the highest standard, the total compensation can reach 735 million yuan. 5 million is already MS Song CI's mercy. Yuji lay paralyzed on the sofa. Cheng Dehu took the lawyer's letter and read it from start to finish. Then he picked up the pen and signed the compensation agreement. What are you doing? Yuji screamed. Sign, pay, apologize. Cheng Dehu slammed the pen on the table. Do you still not feel humiliated enough? The lawyer folded up the agreement. Mr. Cheng is a sensible man. Within 3 days, 5 million in compensation will be transferred to the designated account. The apology statement will be published within 7 days. If overdue, we'll see each other in court. The lawyer left. Yuji broke down and wept. Cheng Dehu sat on the sofa, covering his face with both hands. The landline in the villa rang. The maid picked up, her face changing dramatically. Sir, it's the bank. They say the villa loan is due tomorrow and want to know if it can be paid on time. Cheng Dehu took the phone. Hello Mr. Cheng, I'm your relationship manager from HSBC. The 30 million yuan mortgage on your villa is due tomorrow. May I ask if you'll be able to repay on time? Cheng Dehu opened his mouth. The company's funds had been pulled. The family's savings, 300 million, had been swindled by Fang Deming. His son's shares had been diluted to 30 million. He can't come up with it. Could you extend it a few days? Sorry Mr. Cheng, based on your current credit status, the bank can't approve an extension. If you can't repay by 3 p.m. tomorrow, the bank will initiate foreclosure proceedings. The call ended. Yuji stopped crying. She widened her eyes and stared at Cheng Dehu. What about the auction? The villa, it's going to be taken by the bank. Then where will we live? Cheng Dehu did not answer. This entire thing belonged to him 3 days ago. Now nothing is left. At the same time, Renault Hospital VIP ward. Fang Yu handed me the tablet. On the screen, the stock price chart of Chengsha Technology looked like a waterfall, plunging from the limit up to the limit down and never climbing back. 100 billion in funds has been completely withdrawn. Chengsha Technology currently has 300 million in cash flow, 1100 million in supplier debts, and 900 million in bank loans. The funding gap is 1700 million. How is Fang Deming doing over there? Fang Industries' 12 billion loan is all overdue. 5 banks have jointly applied to preserve Fang Deming's personal assets. All properties, vehicles, and equity under his name are frozen. Fang Ruoqing's credit card has been disabled. She was denied on the spot yesterday when trying to buy a bag at Mix C with her card. I swiped the screen on social media. The topics: Fang family technology collapse, Fang father and daughter deceived in marriage, and Song family funds mysterious heir trended to the top of hot searches simultaneously. Someone dug up a surveillance screenshot from 3 days ago of Cheng Yangju at the Civil Affairs Bureau. In the screenshot, he's wearing the navy blue suit I bought for him, holding a divorce application, his expression as calm as if he were going to get a bank card. The comment section exploded. My wife is in the delivery room giving birth, and he goes to the Civil Affairs Bureau to file for a divorce. What a shameless scumbag. I suggest checking whether he has someone else outside. The clairvoyant upstairs, there really is someone outside. Fang Ruoqing with someone's seed still in her belly, so he wants to kick her right after she gives birth but ends up kicking an iron plate instead. It's not an iron plate, it's a titanium alloy plate. Descendant heir of the Song Family Foundation. Take note, laugh to death. I thought I married an orphan. But it turned out to be an invisible rich person. A TV drama wouldn't dare write this. I turned off the tablet. My daughter woke up and cried softly. I picked her up to feed her. Fang Yu stood nearby, hesitating for a moment. Miss, there is one more thing. Speak. When we were investigating Fang Deming, we found that there was someone behind him. I lift my head. Who? Fang Deming didn't fund Fengcheng's technology with his own money. Someone was providing him with funds. We traced the source of the funds and found that the money came from an organization called Mingyuan Capital. Mingyuan Capital. The actual controller of Mingyuan Capital is named Song Mingyuan. My hand froze. Song Mingyuan, vice president of Song Family Foundation, my father's 30-year-old subordinate. I call him Uncle Song. Are you sure? Sure, there have been 3 large financial transfers between Fang Deming and Song Mingyuan, the earliest 5 years ago. In total they amount to 80 billion. 8 billion. Song Mingyuan, a deputy president with an annual income of not exceeding 10 million. Where did he get 80 billion unless he moved the funds from the Song Family Foundation? Fang Yu nodded. When we traced the flow of funds, we found that over the past 5 years Song Mingyuan, through 47 shell companies, moved at least 15 billion out of the Song Foundation. Fang Deming's Fangsha Industrial is just one node in his money laundering network. 15 billion. Does my father know? Chairman, not yet. Song Mingyuan's accounts are extremely concealed. If it weren't for Fang Deming's collapse this time, we wouldn't have been able to follow the clues and discover it at all. I put my daughter back in the crib. Where is Song Mingyuan now? At the fund's headquarters. There's an investment decision meeting this afternoon and he's the host. Get a car ready for me. Miss, you have just given birth. Prepare the car. 30 minutes later, I sat in the conference room at the Song Foundation headquarters. More than 20 fund managers sat along both sides of the long table. Song Mingyuan sat at the head, presenting a PPT. The door was pushed open. Everyone turned their heads. I walked in. Song Mingyuan's voice cut off abruptly. Song CI, why are you here? Uncle Song. I pulled out a chair and sat down. Sorry to interrupt your meeting, I just have one question. The conference room was so quiet that the hum of the air conditioner could be heard. How much did you invest in Fang Deming's Fangsha Industry? Song Mingyuan's face changed. Fangsha Industry, our fund has no business dealings with Fangsha. I project the fund flow chart that Fang Yu found onto the screen. 47 shell companies, 8 billion in funds from Song Foundation through Mingyuan Capital ultimately flowing into Fang Deming's account. Every line is crystal clear. Song Mingyuan stares at the screen. Beads of sweat forming on his forehead. This is forged forgery. Fang Yu, play the recording. Fang Yu turned on the computer. Song Mingyuan's voice came from the speaker. Deming, I've already arranged things with Chengsha Technology. After Song Zixing gives birth, Cheng Yangju will file for divorce. The 34% stake in her hands will automatically revert to the fund according to the agreement. Then I'll hold it in trust as vice president and will short Chengsha Technology to cash out that 100 billion. Fang Deming's voice. Will Song Ci notice? No, her mind is full of the child right now. She doesn't have time to deal with the funds. By the time she realizes it, the money will have already been transferred to the Cayman Islands. Recording finished. There are more than 20 people in the meeting room, and not a single one dares to take a breath too loudly. Song Mingyuan's face turned gray. Uncle Song, I said, my father treats you as a brother. 30 years, you moved away 15 billion. Song Mingyuan suddenly stood up. Song Ci, you can't condemn me based on just one recording. Someone is framing me. The one framing you is yourself. I put another document on the table. This is the offshore trust document you established 5 years ago. The beneficiaries are your wife and 2 sons. The trust assets amount to exactly 15 billion. Do you want to take a look at the signatures yourself? Song Mingyuan took the document, his hand shaking violently. In the signature block was his handwriting. You steal 3 billion from my father's fund every year for 5 years. You think that by moving it through 4 to 7 shell companies, no one will find out. You're wrong. Every penny of the Song Foundation has a digital fingerprint. From the moment funds leave the account, it begins to be traced. Every account it passes through, every second it lingers, will be recorded. You think you've washed yourself clean in the Song family's system. You've even had your underwear pulled clean off. Song Mingyuan slumped in the chair. Song Ci, I'm your Song uncle. I held you when you were little. When you were holding me, you were already stealing my family's money. I stood up. Fang Yu, notify the Economic Investigation Department. Transfer all the evidence to the past. Yes, also, inform my father, tell him his brother of 30 years stole 150 billion from him. Song Mingyuan slid off the chair and knelt on the ground. Song Ci, please don't tell your father, he won't be able to take it. He is in poor health. When you stole money, did you think about his poor health? Song Mingyuan burst into tears. I didn't look at him again. As I walked out of the conference room, my phone rang. Cheng Yangju, I picked up. Song Ci. His voice was hoarse like sandpaper. More than 100 suppliers have come to the company's building. The bank just called saying all the loans have matured. My parents' villa is going to be foreclosed tomorrow. Fang Deming has been arrested. Fang Ruqing has run away. So, please invest the money back. I'll agree to anything. I don't want the company anymore. I'll give you all the equity. You can make me do whatever you want. Cheng Yangju, 3 days ago when you went to the Civil Affairs Bureau, I called you, you didn't answer. That day Fang Ruoqing was beside me. She said don't pick up. She told you not to answer, so you didn't. She told you to get a divorce, so you did. She told you to submit the application while I was in labor, so you submitted it. Cheng Yangju, you've lived for over 30 years. Have you ever made a decision for yourself? On the other end of the line, Cheng Yangju burst into tears. I was wrong. I was really wrong. You're not wrong, you just chose the wrong person. Give me one more chance, I'm begging you. Chance, I already gave you one. 3 years, every single day was a chance. You chose her. I hang up the phone. Fang Yu walked over. Miss, a supplier representative from Chengsha Technology wants to see you. Let them wait. There's one more thing. Cheng Yenzhou's mother, He Yuji, is standing at the bank entrance holding a sign that reads Song Ci, return my son's hard-earned money. Reporters have already gone over. I smiled. Let her hold it, the longer she does the better. The reporter asked if we have any response. Just say MS. Song Ci is currently in confinement after childbirth and is unable to give interviews. When her confinement period is over, a press conference will be held to disclose Mr. Cheng Yenzhou's full bank statements for the past 3 years, including every single transfer record of his payments to Fang Ruoqing. Fang Yu's eyes lit up. Especially that 5 million, all of Fang Ruoqing's tuition and living expenses while studying in the UK were paid by Cheng Yangju. The funds came from Cheng Technology's corporate accounts. I understand. Fang Yu turned around to make arrangements. I walked to the window downstairs. The city lights spread out like a chessboard. 3 years ago, Cheng Yangju knelt before me to propose. He said, Song Ci, I have nothing, but I have a sincere heart. 3 years later, while I was lying on the delivery bed, he went to the Civil Affairs Bureau to file for divorce. He thought he was letting go of a penniless orphan. What he doesn't know is that what he let go of is the biggest back support of his life. On the 4th day after giving birth, I was getting ready to be discharged. Fang Yu came back after completing the discharge procedures, looking very upset. Miss Fang Ruoqing is downstairs. What did she come for? She's holding an ultrasound report, sitting in the hospital lobby crying, telling reporters that the child in her womb is Cheng Yenzhou's, saying you used your power to bully her, forcing her and the unborn child to die. 3 media outlets are already live streaming. I looked down from the window. A crowd had gathered in the hospital lobby. Fang Ruoqing sat in a wheelchair wearing an oversized hospital gown, her belly sticking out high. She was crying her heart out, shouting into the phone camera, Song Ci, you seized Yenzhou's company, took the Cheng family's house, and now you want to force me and the child to death. The child is innocent. The barrage of comments flooded the screen. Oh my God, the original wife is ruthless. Being rich is everything. Children are always innocent, right? The Song Foundation bullying others and using its power. Boycott. Fang Yu pinched her phone. Miss, should I ask security to kick her out? No need. I picked up my daughter and went downstairs. When the elevator doors opened, all the cameras turned to me at once. Fang Ruoqing saw me, her crying voice rising by 8 notes. Song Ci, you finally agreed to see me. Look at the child in my womb. He is of the Cheng family bloodline. On what basis do you try to kill him off completely? I stood still about 3 steps away in front of her. Miss Fang, you say the child in your belly is Cheng Yenzhou's. Of course it is, the ultrasound clearly states it. 6 months, a boy. Then explain to me why 6 months ago you were still in the United Kingdom. Fang Ruoqing's crying paused for a moment. I got pregnant after returning to the country. You entered on February 14th. Today is August 7th. From entry to today, it's a total of 175 days. How many days are 6 months? 180 days. Fang Ruoqing's face froze. The child in your womb is at least 5 days older than your entry date. You came back pregnant. The onlookers began to murmur that was the doctor miscalculating the due date. Okay, I nodded. Fang Yu, have the head of obstetrics at Renan Hospital come down. Bring a portable ultrasound machine in front of all the media. We'll do an on-the-spot gestational age test. Fang Ruoqing's face completely changed. No, I won't do it. How dare you make me have an ultrasound? You are invading my privacy. Didn't you just insist the child was Cheng Yanzhou's? If that's true, why are you afraid to have an ultrasound? The murmur in the crowd grew louder. The obstetric chairwoman came down, pushing the ultrasound machine. Fang Ruoqing gripped the armrests of the wheelchair tightly, unwilling to lie down. I won't do it. You're all in on it to ruin me. This baby belongs to Cheng Yangzhou. It's him. I took a document from Fang Yu's hand. Miss Fang, this is your prenatal checkup record from St. Mary Hospital in Birmingham, England, 1 week before your entry. The record shows that you were 5 weeks pregnant at the time. Fang Ruoqing's eyes widened in disbelief. How did you get this? The tuition you paid while studying in the United Kingdom was paid by Cheng Yangzhou. The bill from St. Mary's Hospital was also sent to the London branch of Cheng's Technology. The finances saved a little. I turned the prenatal checkup records to the last page and held them up for the lens to see. It clearly states above, pregnant woman's name, Fang Ruoqing, gestational age, 5 weeks, fetal father, James Miller, not present. The whole room erupted. The barrage instantly reversed. Is the child British, coming back with someone else's seed to get married for deception? Who was just insulting the wife? Come out here, let's have a word. Oh man, I'm calling him oh man directly. Fang Ruoqing slides off the wheelchair and collapses onto the ground. That Englishman doesn't want me anymore. My dad says Cheng Yangzhou is stupid and easy to fool. He told me to go back to China to find him, saying that as long as I marry into the Cheng family, the Fang family can live, so you just carry someone else's baby, pretending to be pregnant with Cheng Yanzhou's child. I had no choice either. Fang Ruoqing suddenly screams, my father owes 2 billion. If I don't marry Cheng Yangzhou, the Fang family will be doomed. What did I do wrong? I just want to save my father. The way you save your father is to ruin another family. Fang Ruoqing cried, trembling all over. A voice came from outside the crowd. Move aside. Cheng Yangzhou squeezed in. He saw Fang Ruoqing slumped on the ground, saw the prenatal examination records in my hand, saw the ultrasound machine pushed by the head of obstetrics. Yangzhou. Fang Ruoqing lunged forward and hugged his legs. You believe me, the baby really is yours. Those records were forged by her. She just wants to ruin the Fang family. Cheng Yangzhou looked down at her. Fang Ruoqing. Yesterday James Miller posted a status on Instagram. He said thank you for contributing the melodramatic plot. He also shared a photo. He pulled out his phone and held it in front of her. In the photo, James Miller is hugging a blonde woman with the London Eye in the background. Caption, to my Chinese ex, you said you were pregnant with my baby. Funny, I had a vasectomy 3 years ago. To my Chinese ex-girlfriend, you said you were pregnant with my baby. Interesting, I had a vasectomy 3 years ago. Fang Ruoqing's hand slid off Cheng Yanzhou's leg. Sterilization, he got sterilized. You don't even know whose child it is. Cheng Yanzhou's voice was as cold as ice. Your father told you to lure me back to China, and you did. You can't even tell whose seed is in your belly, yet you dare say it's mine. I thought it was from the time he went to Britain to see me. That's enough. Cheng Yangzhou stepped back. Fang Ruoqing, you and your father swindled 300 million bridging loan from me. I have filed a report. The Economic Investigation Detachment is looking for your father. As for you, the father of the child in your womb, have nothing to do with me. He turned and looked at me. His lips moved, but he said nothing. I held my daughter and walked past him. Song Ci. He called me back. I stopped. That 300 million, after I recover it, can I? No. I continue to walk forward. Fang Yu pulled open the car door before getting in the car. I looked back at the hospital lobby. Fang Ruoqing was still lying on the ground. While people around were taking photos, Cheng Yangzhou stood among the crowd like a tree blown down by the wind. He usually arrived at some point, not sure when, standing in the corner with a face that looked like she had eaten a fly. The live stream chat was still scrolling. Best reversal of the year. Original is so cool. Heirs of the Song Foundation. Love has blossomed. Love has blossomed. Recommend turning it into a TV drama. I closed the car door. My daughter yawned in my arms. Fang Yu, Go to the Civil Affairs Bureau, miss, the divorce agreement won't take effect for another 3 days. Not waiting, have Cheng Yangju come over and sign it now, change the clause that makes it effective in 3 days to take effect immediately. Fang Yu dialed Cheng Yangju's number 20 minutes later, the Civil Affairs Bureau in the east of the city. When Cheng Yangju arrived, I had already signed the papers. He brought over the divorce petition that he had personally submitted 3 days ago and signed his name in the applicant confirms divorce column. The staff stamped the documents. Mr. Cheng Yangju and Ms. Song Ci, your divorce petition has taken effect. This is the divorce certificate. I received the divorce certificate. Cheng Yangju received his copy. He lowered his head and looked at the red book, his hand shaking. Song Ci, these 3 years have you? No. I carried my daughter out of the Civil Affairs Bureau. The afternoon sun in August was intense, making the ground glare. Fang Yu held up an umbrella to greet me. Miss, are you going home? Home. When the car drove out of the Civil Affairs Bureau gate, I saw Cheng Yangju still standing where he was in the rearview mirror. The divorce certificate in his hand rustled in the wind. He didn't come after me. The day after I got the divorce certificate, he usually came, not alone. She brought a clan of relatives from the Cheng family, second aunt, third uncle, fourth aunt, fifth aunt, more than 10 people in all. Blocking the hospital entrance, I happened to be discharged. Fang Yu was holding her daughter and I was with a small bag walking out. He usually blocked me head on. Song Ci, stop right there. She was wearing a wrinkled purple suit, her hair in chaotic tangles, eyes swollen, clearly sleep-deprived for days. He, what is it? Of course there's something. She took a document from her bag and held it up high. This is a prenuptial property agreement signed by my son. The words are clear in black and white. When you married into the Cheng family, you had nothing, and now you're getting a divorce. You won't get a single cent of the Cheng family's property. Relatives all echo in unison. Exactly, why should the Cheng family's money go to outsiders? An orphan marrying in is already climbing. And after divorce you still want a share of the family fortune. Chengsha Technology was founded by Yangju alone. What does she have to do with it? I asked Fang Yu to put my daughter into the car. Then I turned around and looked at He Yuji. The prenup you mentioned is the one your son signed. I have a copy as well. Do you want to take a look? He Yuji froze for a moment. Your share doesn't count, you're an orphan. What property do you have that needs the protection of an agreement? Fang Yu took a document from his briefcase and handed it to me. I opened it and held it up. This agreement, in full, is titled Non-Disclosure Agreement accompanying the Song Family Foundation's investment in Cheng's technology. The signing date 3 years ago. The signatory Cheng Yangju. Heiyuji's face changed. Article 3 Mr. Cheng Yangju shall not disclose to anyone, including his immediate family, the fact that the Song Family Foundation is the actual investor in Cheng's technology. If violated, he must return all invested funds and pay a penalty equal to 30% of the total investment. Article 7. If the marriage between Mr. Cheng Yangju and Ms. Song Ci terminates for any reason, Song Family Foundation has the right to withdraw all invested funds and initiate the equity restructuring procedures of Cheng's technology. Article 12 of the agreement. The effectiveness of this agreement takes precedence over any prenuptial or postnuptial property agreement signed by Mr. Cheng Yangju and Ms. Song Ci. I turned the agreement to the last page. On the signature line, Cheng Yangju's handwriting is clear and legible. Below it is also the official seal of Chengsha Technology. He Yuji snatched the agreement and read it from start to finish. Her hands began to tremble. When was this signed? How come I didn't know? 3 years ago your son took Chengsha Technology's last 8 million to meet the 28th investor and still no one invested in him. That night he crouched by the roadside crying. I happened to pass by and asked if he wanted investment. He said yes, I invested. He Yuji's lips trembled. So, Cheng Tech from the very beginning was funded by you, every single cent. From the angel round to Series D, it was all Song Fund's money. Your son didn't put in a single cent of his own. That founder title was given by me. The relatives' chorus quieted down. Aunt Second quietly put down the sign. In her hand, Uncle Third took a half step back. No way, he Yuji screamed. My son started from nothing. He has always been an outstanding student since childhood. He did it all by himself. His skill is marrying me. He Yuji looked as if slapped in the face. You have plotted from the start. You've been calculating against the Cheng family all along. It was your son kneeling on the roadside begging me to marry him off. It wasn't me begging him to marry me. Do you call that plotting from the heart? In 3 years I invested 100 billion and gave birth to a daughter. What did your son give me in return? He went to the Civil Affairs Bureau to file for divorce while I was giving birth. Who is scheming against whom now? He usually could not say a word. Fang Yu took another document out of the briefcase. These are all the transfer records your son made to Fang Ruoqing over the past 3 years. The total is 547 million yuan, of which 2 million yuan came from Chengsha Technologies corporate funds. He usually took the bank statements. She turned the pages one by one. Each transfer has a date, an amount, and a recipient. Fang Ruoqing, Fang Ruoqing, Fang Ruoqing. This 5 million, when was it? From the day before your son filed for divorce. He Yuji's hands began to tremble violently. Did he transfer 5 million to that B*****H just before filing for divorce? Yes, the purpose use is written as bride price. The relatives group chat exploded. What? Yang Ju transferred 5 million in dowry to that scammer. His wife is still in the delivery room here while she's asking for a dowry for the mistress over there. What kind of son are you raising? He usually held the bank statement, and the expression on her face shifted from anger to shock, then to confusion. She slowly crouched down, squatting by the flower bed in front of the Civil Affairs Bureau, clutching that stack of papers in her hand. He sent 5 million yuan to that con man. She whispered to herself, among that 5 million there's the 200,000 I gave him. That was my lifelong pension savings. I look at her, this woman who has always judged by appearances all her life was finally deceived of her pension money by the son she loved most. Are you planning to bring out your son's prenuptial agreement as well? He usually did not answer. She buried her face in her hands, her shoulders shaking. The relatives looked at each other in confusion, then one by one dispersed. In the end, only he usually crouched alone by the edge of the flowerbed. I told Fang Yu to put away that genuine prenuptial agreement, the funding agreement for the Song Family Foundation. She raised her head and all the makeup on her face had melted away. I won't let your son's company go under. Withdraw the 10 billion and I will reinvest under the Song Family Foundation's name, but the shareholding will change from 34% to 67%. Cheng's Technology, no longer surnamed Cheng. As for the 5 million in betrothal money your son received, the Economic Crimes Unit is already investigating the 2 million of misappropriated public funds. He has to repay himself. He Yuji's lips moved. So what about me, my retirement money? That's something your son owes you. It has nothing to do with me. I turned and got into the car. Before the car door closed, he Yuji suddenly stood up. Song Ci. I look at her. That Fang Ruoqing, whose child is she carrying? I don't know, she doesn't even know herself. He Yuji stood there dazed. The car started moving. I saw her standing at the edge of the flower bed in the rearview mirror, clutching that sheaf of bank statements. A gust of wind blew one page away. She didn't pick it up. The third day after the divorce, Cheng Yangju found the Song Family Fund headquarters. Fang Yu said he had been waiting downstairs since 8 in the morning, waiting for 4 hours. Miss, do you want him to come upstairs? Wait for him. At 2 o'clock in the afternoon I go downstairs. Seng Yangju leaned against a utility pole by the roadside, his suit wrinkled, his beard at least 3 days unshaved. When he saw me, he strode over. Song Ci, speak. He stood in front of me. His lips moved, then he knelt down. It was noon break time. At the entrance of the fund management headquarters there was a crowd. Everyone stopped to watch. Yang Zhen kneels on the cement ground, his knees making a dull thud. Song Ci, I was wrong. Please give me another chance. What opportunity? Remarry. Let's remarry. I'll listen to you about everything from now on. I don't want the company anymore. Give all the shares to you. If you want me to go east, I'll go east. If you want me to go west, I'll go west, as long as you come back. I looked down at him. 3 days ago, he knelt in the delivery room asking me not to pull the funding. 2 days ago, he knelt at the Civil Affairs Bureau entrance asking me not to divorce. Today, he kneels at the company's gate asking me to remarry. Cheng Yangju, none of the 3 things you're asking me for are for my sake. The first is for money, the second is for money, the third is also for money. No, I really love you. Love me. I laughed softly. Fang Yu, play the second recording. Fang Yu turned on her phone. Cheng Yenzhou's voice came from the phone, clearer than the first recording. Mom, don't worry. Once Song Si gives birth, I'll divorce her right away. The Fang family has already agreed if the baby in Ruoqing's womb is a boy, as long as I marry Ruoqing, Fang Deming will invest another 500 million in Cheng Group, He Yuji's voice. And what about getting rid of Song Si? Give her 5 million, she's an orphan, 5 million will make her grateful. What if she doesn't agree? Doesn't agree, what right does she have to disagree? She eats my food and lives under my roof. Without me she wouldn't even have a place to stay. I'll have the lawyer take custody of the daughter as well. She grew up in an orphanage, the court won't award the child to her. The recording continued to play. Yang Ju. What exactly is Song Si? Didn't you say she's just an ordinary employee? Just a working person working in administration at an investment company, earning around 10,000 a month. If it weren't for her looks being okay, I wouldn't have married her in the first place. Does she have leverage over you in her hands? No, that woman is really stupid. She never looks at my phone. She understands the company's accounts even less. Mom, don't worry at all. Once she gives birth, I'll finish the divorce. Within 3 days, recording finished, Cheng Yangju knelt on the ground, the blood on his face washed clean. When was this recorded? 3 months ago on your mother's birthday night. You made this call from the balcony. You forgot. I was at your mother's house that day too. Did you plant a listening device on me? No bugs needed. You stand on the balcony and make a call so loud the whole complex can hear it. Your neighbor records it and sells it to the Song Foundation's intelligence division. Price 50,000. Cheng Yangju stood with his mouth open like a fish hauled out of the water. So 3 months ago you already knew everything? Yes. Then why didn't you expose me? I've exposed you. How do you expect me to finish this show you're putting on? Cheng Yangju could not stay kneeling any longer. He plopped down on the ground, the hem of his suit dragging on the concrete. You've watched me pretend to be a loving married couple for 3 months. You've watched me accompany you to your prenatal checkups, watched me cook for you. You didn't say a word about any of it. Every scene you acted out, I saved the evidence. The surveillance footage from the day you filed for divorce. The bank transfer records showing the 5 million dowry you sent to Fang Ruoqing. The recording of you discussing with your mother how to make me leave empty-handed. It's all in the Song Family Foundation's archive. Do you want to see it yourself? Cheng Yangju shook his head. Desperately. I won't look. You must listen. Fang Yu handed the tablet to him. On the screen there was a folder. The folder is named Cheng Yangju. There are 317 files, audio, video, screenshots, transfer records, chat records, room booking records, from the first time he met Fang Ruqing to when he filed for divorce. Every item is organized clearly according to the timeline. The earliest record is dated a year ago. Cheng Yangju went on a business trip to Shenzhen and ran into Fang Ruqing at the airport. Surveillance footage shows Fang Ruqing waiting for him at the airport 3 hours in advance. Their encounter was arranged by Fang Daming. Cheng Yangju stared at the screen, his eyes wide. A year? It started a year ago. You think you chose Fang Ruqing? Actually, Fang Daming chose you. You're just a chess piece on the Fang family's board. Cheng Yangju slammed the tablet onto the ground. The screen is cracked. He cupped his head, crouching beside the shattered screen. Goddammit, I'm such an idiot. You're not stupid, you're just too greedy. You want the Fang family's money, you want the son in Fang Ruqing's belly, you want me to leave with nothing, you want everything, and in the end you'll lose everything. He lifted his head, his eyes reddened. Song Si, can I start over from the beginning? Alright. A glimmer appeared in his eyes. Return Cheng's Technologies public funds, 3,200,000 within 3 days. That silky light faded out. I have no money, the company only has 300 million. Left in the accounts, which is supplier payments and employee salaries. If I move, the company will collapse tomorrow. That's your problem. I turned around and got into the car. He shouted from behind. Song Si, we were a married couple after all. The car door closed. Fang Yu started the engine. I saw Cheng Yangju still sitting on the ground through the rearview mirror. Beside him was a broken tablet. People around him were holding up their phones to take pictures. He did not cover his face. Cheng Yangju did not wait for 3 days. The next day, the financial investigation team went to Cheng's tech headquarters. Cheng Yangju was escorted out of the office. The charge was embezzlement of funds, 3.2 million, a huge amount. Fang Yu said he confessed everything in the interrogation room. How Fang Deming found him, how Fang Ruoqing approached him, how the 5 million bridal dowry was siphoned from the company accounts. He told all of it in detail. He also confessed to one more thing. Fang Deming had in his hands a share transfer agreement from Cheng Corporation. What share transfer agreement? I asked Fang Yu. It was signed by Fang Deming and Cheng Yangju. The content states that Cheng Yangju will transfer 18% of his shares to Fang Ruoqing free of charge, as a betrothal gift for marrying Fang Ruoqing. He signed the same day as submitting the divorce application. I leaned against the car seat on the day Cheng Yangju submitted the divorce application. He did 3 things. First, go to the Civil Affairs Bureau to file for divorce. Second, transfer 5 million in betrothal gifts to Fang Ruoqing. Third, sign the equity transfer agreement and give 18% of Cheng's technology to the Fang family. He thought he was playing a grand chess game. Actually, he wasn't even a piece, he was the chessboard. Where is Fang Deming now? He's under investigation by the Economic Investigation Bureau, but the share transfer agreement in his possession is legal and valid. If the agreement takes effect, Fang Ruoqing will hold 18% of Chengsha Technology, plus the 18% Fang Deming originally held, making the Fang family's total stake 36%, more than Song Family Foundation's 34%. Yes, the Fang family will become Chengsha Technology's largest shareholder. I close my eyes. Song Mingyuan is the vice president of the Song Family Fund. He siphoned off 15 billion and funneled the money to Fang Deming. Fang Deming used that money to acquire Chengsha Technology shares, then had his daughter trick Cheng Yangju into signing the equity transfer agreement. After the Fang family controlled Chengsha Technology, Song Mingyuan indirectly controlled Chengsha Technology through Fang Deming. The 10 billion investment from the Song Family Fund ultimately ended up in the pockets of Song Mingyuan and Fang Deming. This game was set in motion 5 years ago. Fang Yu, where is Fang Ruoqing now? At his father's villa. After Fang Deming was controlled, the Fang family's villa was also seized, but Fang Ruoqing, holding that equity transfer agreement, demanded the court to release the seizure. Let her come to see me. When Fang Ruoqing arrived, it was already 8 o'clock in the evening. She was wearing slippers and pajamas, her hair casually tied in a ponytail, and half of her makeup was smudged. When the economic crime investigators led her out of the villa, she was in the middle of applying a face mask. When she saw me, her first words were, "Song Ci Yuan." Cheng Yangju was arrested and my dad was arrested too. What more do you want? The share transfer agreement in your hands was signed by Cheng Yangju on the day he filed for divorce. Yes, what about it? The premise of that agreement was that Cheng Yangju held shares in Chengsha Technology, but on the day the agreement was signed, Cheng Yangju had already filed for divorce. According to Article 7 of the Song Fund's investment agreement, once the marriage is terminated, the Song Fund has the right to withdraw all investments and initiate a share restructuring. Fang Ruoqing's expression changed. When Cheng Yangju signed the agreement, the divorce hadn't taken effect yet. But the divorce petition had already been filed. The trigger for Article 7 of the agreement is the date the divorce petition is filed, not the date the divorce takes effect. This is the original text of the agreement. Fang Yu flipped the agreement to page 7 and pointed it out to her. Fang Ruoqing read it 3 times. Her hands began to tremble. So, on the day he signed the equity transfer agreement, the equity no longer belonged to him. To be precise, from the moment Cheng Yangju walked into the Civil Affairs Bureau, all the shares of Chengsha Technology under his name reverted to Songsha Foundation. The signature he wrote to transfer was for a shareholding that didn't actually exist. Fang Ruoqing slammed the agreement onto the table. You all teamed up to set me up. The one who set it up was your father. I merely spelled out the rules of the game. Fang Ruoqing slumped into the chair. Then what about the money my dad put in, those 8 billion? Those 8 billion were stolen by Song Mingyuan from the Song Foundation. The Economic Crime Unit has confirmed it. The illicit funds will be fully recovered. The last glimmer of Fang Ruoqing's hope ceased. She suddenly covered her face and wailed loudly. What should I do? My dad's company is gone. Cheng Yangju has been arrested. I'm pregnant. I don't even know who the father of my child is. The father of the child is James Miller. She raised her head. How do you know? You were taken away by the Economic Investigation Team and we contacted James Miller's lawyer in China. He is willing to cooperate with a paternity test. If the test confirms he is the child's father, he agrees to pay child support. Fang Ruoqing froze. Is he willing? The condition is that you relinquish all claims under the share transfer agreement. Fang Ruoqing was silent for a long time, then she nodded. I will sign. 3 days later, the Changsha Technology temporary shareholders meeting. There were more than 30 people seated in the conference room, shareholders, directors, supervisors, and lawyers. After Fang Deming was taken into custody by the economic crimes investigators, the Fang faction was leaderless, flailing like headless flies. After Cheng Yangju was taken away, the position of chairman of Cheng Shikeji became vacant. According to the company bylaws, the largest shareholder has the right to nominate the new chairman. The small shareholders of the Fang family elected a representative named Liu Guofu, an old subordinate of Fang Deming. Liu Guofu stood up. Fangsha Industry holds 18% of Changsha Technology, and with Miss Fang Ruoqing's 18% transfer, total 36%. The Fang family is the largest shareholder. We nominate Miss Fang Ruoqing to serve as the new chairman. Whispers in the meeting room. Someone asked, "Where is Fang Ruoqing?" Miss Fang is unwell and she has entrusted me to exercise the voting rights on her behalf. Voting rights can be delegated, but the 18% stake that Miss Fang acquired is currently under investigation by the Economic Investigation Bureau. Mr. Cheng Yangju, the transferor, is undergoing inquiries. The legality of this transfer, legal. Chen Yangju, at the time of signing the transfer agreement, possessed full civil capacity. The agreement has been notarized and is genuine and valid. The door opened. Fang Yu pushed the door open and I walked in. Everyone turned their heads. Liu Guofu frowned. "Who are you?" Song CI, representative of the Song Family Foundation. Liu Guofu's expression changed a bit. Song's foundation holds 34%, making it the second largest shareholder. But today we're discussing the chairman candidate. And by shareholding, the Fang family's nomination should take precedence. Who says the Song Family Foundation is the second largest shareholder? I placed a document on the table. This is the statement signed by Miss Fang Ruoqing. This morning, she voluntarily relinquishes 18% of Cheng Yanzhou's transferred equity. The reason is, Cheng Yangju, the transferor, did not hold that portion of equity at the time of signing the transfer agreement. The subject of the transfer never existed from the start. The meeting room erupted. Liu Guofu snatched the document and read it from the beginning to the end. Fang Ruoqing's autograph, handprint, the notary's steel seal. This is impossible. How could Miss Fang give up? Not only did she give up, she also entrusted me to exercise the voting rights of Fang's industrial 18% stake on her behalf. Fang Yu handed over the second document. After Fang Deming was controlled by the economic investigation, the shares of Fang Industrial were frozen by the court. But Fang Deming's wife, Fang Ruoqing's mother, holds 50% of Fang Industrial's shares. Fang's mother signed a power of attorney this morning, delegating all voting rights of Fang Industrial at Cheng's Technology to Song Foundation. Liu Guofu's face turned a pig liver color. You are illegally manipulating the shareholders' meeting. Legal, every step is notarized. You can hire a lawyer to verify. The lawyer Liu Guofu hired finished the two documents and shook his head at him. Liu Guofu slumped in the chair. Song's foundation, how much equity does it actually hold in Changsha Technology? Song's foundation holds its own shares, 34% plus 18% entrusted by Fang's Industrial, totaling 52% absolute control. The meeting room fell silent. In accordance with the company charter, Song Foundation nominates a new chairman of the board. I produced a nomination document, nominating Ms. Fang Yu to serve as the new chairman of Changsha Tech. Fang Yu stood up and bowed to the meeting room. She is the youngest vice president of the Song Family Foundation, 27 years old, Harvard MBA. In the past 3 years, every financing round of Changsha Technology has been handled by her. She knows this company better than Cheng Yangju does. Liu Guofu looked at Fang Yu, his lips trembling. The people of the Song family have eaten Changsha Technology clean from head to toe. Changsha Technology has never been the Cheng family's. I placed the investment agreement from 3 years ago on the table. Since the day Cheng Yangju signed this agreement, Changsha Technology has been a portfolio company incubated by Song Family Foundation. Founders can change, shareholders can change, but the will of capital will not change. Voting begins. More than 30 people raised their placards one after another. 21 votes in favor of appointing Fan Yu as chairman, 4 votes against, 5 abstentions. Approved. Fan Yu stood up and walked to the rostrum. Thank you to all the shareholders for their trust. From now on, Changsha Technology officially enters the management system of Songsha Foundation. The first resolution. She paused for a moment. Change the company name. From Chengsha technology to new Cheng technology. Cheng is not Chen Yenzhou's Cheng, it is the Cheng of the journey. Applause broke out in the conference room. I left the conference room in the hallway. Liu Guofu caught up with me. Song Ci, don't celebrate too soon, there is someone behind Fang Deming. That person won't let you off. Are you talking about Song Mingyuan? Liu Guofu was stunned. He has already gone in. Yesterday afternoon the Economic Investigation Bureau intercepted him at the airport. He planned to flee to Singapore. In his luggage there are 4 fake passports and $20 million. Liu Guofu's face completely collapsed. So, you were eyeing him all along, from the day 5 years ago when he first moved funds through a shell company. The Song Family Foundation's risk control system tagged him for 5 years. Every one of his transactions, every exit from the country, every call has been under surveillance. What we've been waiting for is the day he couldn't help but act. Liu Guofu leaned against the wall and slid slowly to the ground. That fool Fang Deming, he thinks he's using Song Mingyuan. Actually, Song Mingyuan is using him. And you all are using Song Mingyuan. I do not deny it. The elevator doors opened. Fang Yu stepped out, holding the first board resolution of new Cheng technology in his hand. Miss, the company's name change process has been initiated. It is expected to be completed within 7 working days. And on the supplier side, all 11 major suppliers have agreed to the extension. Xincheng Technology will pay 50% of the total arrears within a week, and the remaining portion will be settled over 6 months. Stock price today hit the limit up. After the news that Song Family Fund took over was released, the market value has returned to 800 million. It is expected to recover to the pre-divestment level within 3 months. I nodded. Fang Yu hesitated for a moment. Miss, there is one more thing. Speak. The case of Cheng Yangju. The preliminary opinion from the investigation department is embezzlement of funds, with a substantial amount. The recommended sentencing is more than 3 years but less than 7 years. Got it, MS. He Yuji went to the Economic Investigation Unit this morning and said she was willing to return the stolen goods on behalf of her son. She sold the villa, added money borrowed from relatives, and scraped together 2 million yuan, still short of 2 million. I look at Fang Yu. 2 million worse than expected. Coming from my personal account. Fang Yu froze for a moment. Miss, not to repay him, it's a loan. Have him sign an IOU. After he is released he will repay the principal plus interest. Understood. I stepped into the elevator. Fang Yu followed in. Miss, do you hate Cheng Yangju? The elevator doors closed. The numbers dropped floor by floor. Not hate. Then why are you helping him? I'm not helping him, I'm collecting the debt he owes me. He repaid the 2 million to Cheng's Technology. The company's accounts with him are settled. What he owes me is a separate matter. The elevator stopped on the first floor. The door opened. Sunlight rushed in. He Yuji's apology statement was published in the newspaper, Beijing Times, National Business Daily, and Southern Metropolis Daily, 3 national media outlets, published on the same day. The headline reads, MS, He Yuji's public apology letter to MS Song Ci. In the body, He Yuji admits to all the insults and defaming remarks she directed at Song Ci over the past 3 years. She admits to despising her daughter-in-law for being of low birth, pressuring her son to divorce, and orchestrating an affair between her son and Fang Ruoqing. The apology letter ends with, I, He Yuji, extend my most sincere apologies to MS Song Ci. What I have done not only hurt MS Song Ci but also harmed my son and myself. I am willing to bear all legal consequences and compensate MS Song Ci with 5 million yuan for emotional distress. Signature, He Yuji. Handprint, bright red. On the same day, the court-ordered auction confirmation signed by Cheng De Hu also came through. The Cheng family villa sold for 32 million. After deducting the 30 million bank loan, the remaining 2 million was fully transferred into the Economic Crime Investigation Unit's restitution account. He Yuji moved into a rental on the outskirts of the city, a 2-bedroom, 1-living-room place, with a monthly rent of 2,800. On the day of the move, not a single relative from the Cheng family showed up. He Yuji carried a woven bag by herself, moving things out of the villa. Reporters captured a photo of her carrying the woven bag as she walked out of the villa gate. In the photo she was wearing that crumpled purple suit, half her hair white, her back hunched. The photo trended. The headline read, once a matriarch of a wealthy family, today carrying a woven bag to move. There wasn't a single person in the comments who sympathized with her, despising his daughter-in-law as an orphan. Only to have his own son become a parasite, pressuring his son to divorce and marry a rich girl, only to find that the rich girl is a liar, 5 million in mental damages, the villa repossessed, son in prison, retribution comes too quickly. First wife: sister, thanks for the invitation, I'm at a confinement center, just cleared out 100 billion. On the third day after he Yuji moved into the rental, she called Fang Yu, assistant: Fang, I want to see Song Ci, MS Song is postpartum and cannot meet with guests. Please, I just want to say a few words. Fang Yu sent me the call recording. I listened and said, tell her to come. He Yuji arrived at 3 in the afternoon. She was wearing the same purple suit she had on the day she moved, even more wrinkled. She was carrying a bag of fruit. This time it wasn't the cheapest supermarket fruit basket but carefully selected imported cherries. The bag must have cost at least $500. She placed the cherries on the table. Song Ci. I'm here to atone for my wrongdoings. Sit. She sat down, her hands twisted together. I've scraped together that 5 million mental compensation. I sold the villa, took out the funeral fund for your father-in-law as well, and even borrowed over $1 million from relatives this morning. Everything has been transferred to the Song Family Foundation's account. I know the finance department has confirmed it. That's good. She rubbed her hands together. Also the 2 million yuan embezzled by Yang Ju. Assistant Fang said you covered it. You don't need to repay it, let Yang Ju Cheng repay it himself. 80 Yuji's tears fell. Song Ci, the person I've wronged most in my life is you. For 3 years since you married into the Cheng family, I never treated you kindly for a single day. I looked down on your background, thought you weren't worthy of Yangju, resented that you couldn't bear a son. In the end, it was my own son who ruined the Cheng family. It was the good match I arranged for him that put Yangju in prison. She wiped her tears. I'm not here to beg your forgiveness. I know I don't have the face to ask for it. I just want to tell you, your daughter is not a lowly girl. She is your daughter, Song Ci. Her life is more precious than anyone in the Cheng family. I look at her, this woman who had been sexist, snobbish and cruel her whole life, finally spoke like a human being after losing everything. I accept your apology. She raised her head. I won't pursue the past anymore, but the debt Cheng Yangju owes must be repaid by him alone. You can't replace him. I know. She stood up and bowed. Then I'll leave. She stopped for a moment at the door. Song Ci, that bag of cherries, it's to help you recuperate. Eat more fruit while you're in confinement. It's good for the baby. The door closed. Fang Yu walked over and looked at the bag of cherries. Miss, do you want to have it tested? No need. I opened the bag and washed a bowl. The cherries are very sweet. Fang Ruoqing has given birth half a month earlier than the due date. 3 a.m. Renan Hospital delivery room. Natural birth boy 5 Jin 9 Liang. The day after the birth, James Miller's lawyer arrived at the hospital with people from a paternity testing agency. Sampling was completed in the ward. Fang Ruoqing held the baby and James Miller's lawyer filmed nearby. The cotton swab scraped the inner wall of the child's mouth, was placed into an evidence bag and sealed. Fang Yu was present throughout the process. 3 days later, the paternity test report came out. It supports James Miller as the biological father of the newborn. Probability 99.99%. Fang Ruoqing cried for a long time when she got the report. It wasn't sadness, it was a sense of relief. Finally, I don't have to lie anymore, she said. James Miller's lawyer read out James Miller's statement on the spot. James Miller admitted that the child is his, agreed to pay 20,000 yuan per month in child support from now on until the child turns 18, and meanwhile he relinquished his claim to custody. The child would be raised by Fang Ruoqing alone. Fang Ruoqing signed. After signing, she held the child and said to me, Song Ci, thank you. Thank me for what? Thank you for helping me find the child's father. I lied to so many people and in the end it was you, the one I hurt most, who helped me. I'm not helping you, I'm helping that child. He shouldn't be born because of a lie, nor should he grow up because of one. Fang Ruoqing hugged the child tighter. I will raise him well, tell him his mother made many mistakes but he hasn't. I stood up. Fang Ruoqing, your father's case will be verdict next month. The lawyer says the recommended sentence is 10 years. Her tears fell again. I know. What are you planning to do from now on? I'm taking the child back to my hometown. My mom is alone at home, and I have to take care of her. The debt my dad owes, I will slowly pay off. I told Fang Yu to take out a document. This is the distribution plan for the remaining assets after Fang Group Industries bankruptcy liquidation, the old house under your mom's name is not within the liquidation scope. She can continue living there. Fang Ruoqing stood there in a daze. And also, Fang Yu handed over a bank card. This is the compensation the Song Fund paid when Ms. Fang gave up her shares in Chengsha Technology, 3 million yuan. The PIN is the child's birthday. Fang Ruoqing did not take it. I can't accept it. I cheated you out of so much money. This isn't for you, it's for the child. He needs a stable environment to grow up in. Fang Ruoqing took the bank card, her hands trembling violently. She suddenly put the child on the bed and knelt down to me. Sister Song Ci, in my next life I'll be your ox and horse. I pulled her up. No need for the next life. In this life, raise your son properly, that will be enough. Walk out of the ward. Fang Yu followed suit. Miss, James Miller's lawyer has raised an additional condition. What is it? He demanded that the child not leave the country before turning 18 to prevent Fang Ruoqing from taking the child to the UK to pester James Miller. Agree to him. And one more thing. Speak. Fang Ruoqing's father, Fang Deming, confessed a new detail during the interrogation. He said that the 150 billion that Song Mingyuan transferred wasn't all of it. There was another sum moved to an overseas account. The amount was 50 billion. 50 billion. Who is the account holder? Don't know. Song Mingyuan would never tell. He only said one sentence. What sentence? That money was the Song family's money paid for their lives. Chapter 11 Inheritance Reversal. Song Mingyuan was sentenced. He was convicted of embezzlement of public funds and money laundering, multiple offenses with severe penalties, life imprisonment. On the day of the verdict, I went there. Song Mingyuan stood at the defendant's bench, his hair completely white. The judgment scroll was read for 40 minutes and he didn't hear a word of it. He kept looking at me. The judge's gavel fell when the bailiff was about to take him away. He suddenly cried out, Song Ci. I paused. Your father, does he know? Understood yesterday. He finished reading through all the case files in the ward. Song Mingyuan's face twitched. What did he say? He said 30 years of brotherhood exchanged for 15 billion, worth it. Song Mingyuan seemed to have his spine ripped out, the whole person slumping. The bailiff supported him as they led him out of the courtroom. As he passed by me, he suddenly spoke again. Song Ci. Cheng Yangju is not your husband. I turned my head to look at him. What do you mean? Cheng Yangju does not bear the surname Cheng. His surname is Song. The air in the courtroom solidified. 34 years ago, the Song family lost a child, a boy. He had just turned a month old. He was taken from the nursery and disappeared without a trace. The Song family searched for 30 years but could not find him. Song Mingyuan's voice was hoarse. That child was sent to the Cheng family, Cheng Dehu. And he Yuji adopted him and named him Cheng Yangju. How do you know? Because the person who took the child away from the Song family back then was me. The bailiff was stunned too. I owed gambling debts and was chased to my home. That person said to take the Song family's child out, and the gambling debt would be wiped clean. So I did. I thought they wanted ransom. I didn't expect that they would destroy all of the child's proof of identity and hand it to the couple Cheng Dehu, who were far away in the countryside. Cheng Dehu had been married 8 years without a child and thought this was a gift from heaven. He didn't know the child was stolen. Song Mingyuan's tears fell. Over these years, I watched Cheng Yangju grow up, watched him marry you. I dare not say a word, not a single word. Your father raised him as his own son, funded him to start a company and gave his daughter to him. He didn't realize that he was supporting a lifetime of son-in-law, who was actually his own nephew. I stood still, feeling ice cold all over. Cheng Yangju is my cousin. We share the same grandfather's blood. The child's bloodline is a branch of the Song family. Cheng Yangju's biological father is Song Huaishan. The cousin of your father, Huaishan, died in a car accident 34 years ago. His wife died in childbirth. They left behind a baby boy who had just reached 1 month old. On the boy's 1-month birthday, I took him from the nursery. Song Mingyuan was escorted away by the bailiffs. I stood at the courthouse door for a long time without moving. Fang Yu rushed over. Miss, what do you need me to do? Check, test Cheng Yangju's DNA, test Song Huaishan's DNA. I want to see the paternity test report. Yes, and also 34 years ago who ordered Song Mingyuan to steal the child? Is that 50 billion hush money related to this? Fang Yu nodded. 3 days later, the paternity test report came out. The DNA of Cheng Yangju and the DNA samples of Mr. and Mrs. Song Huaishan. taken from the hospital's archives 34 years ago, were compared with a paternity probability of 99.99%. Cheng Yangju is Song Huaishan's son. He is my cousin by blood. I held the report and sat for a long time, then I dialed my father's number. Dad, have you heard about Cheng Yangju's matter? There was a long silence on the other end of the line. From the day Song Mingyuan announced the verdict, I already knew. Why didn't you tell me? I didn't know how to bring it up. Your husband is my nephew. Your marriage is invalid in the eyes of the law. Your daughter. What's wrong with my daughter? By blood relation, Cheng Yangju is your first cousin. Your child with him is a product of a close kin marriage. My mind went blank. Will the child have problems? The hospital did a full examination. All indicators are normal. But because of the hereditary risk from close relative reproduction, continuous monitoring is needed during growth. I held the phone, my hand trembling. Dad, 34 years ago, who ordered Song Mingyuan to steal the child. Song Mingyuan would never tell, even to his death, but Fang Yu found a clue. What clue? An overseas account with 5 billion, opened under the name Zhu Guoliang. Who is Zhu Guoliang? 34 years ago, he was the chief financial officer of the Song Foundation, your grandfather's most trusted man. The day Cheng Yangju was kidnapped, Zhu Guoliang resigned from the Song Foundation and his whole family emigrated to Canada. Is he still alive? He is alive in Vancouver. Fang Yu booked a flight that night. Vancouver. Zhu Guoliang lives in an old house in the west side, 83 years old, sitting in a wheelchair. His granddaughter pushes him around in the yard to sun himself. Fang Yu placed a photocopy of Song Mingyuan's judgment on his lap. Zhu Guoliang finished reading, tears welling up in his cloudy eyes. 34 years, it finally happened. Mr. Zhu, who instructed Song Mingyuan to steal Song Huaishan's child 34 years ago. Zhu Guoliang closed his eyes. No one asked him to. It was Song Mingyuan who did it himself. What about that 5 billion money to buy a life? That 5 billion was extorted from me by Song Mingyuan. He knew I had embezzled funds and threatened to report me. I gave him 5 billion as hush money. He transferred the money overseas and kept it in his own name. How much did you embezzle? Zhu Guoliang kept silent for a long time. At least 200 billion. Fang Yu's hand holding the recording pen trembled. 20 billion. Where did it go? The casino. I lost for 30 years in Macau. I lost the Song Family Foundation's 20 billion, every last cent. Zhu Guoliang's voice was as calm as if he were speaking about someone else's affairs. Song Mingyuan knew this secret. He used this secret to blackmail me for a lifetime. The money to buy a life, the life bought, was not his, it was mine. Fang Yu sent the recording to me. After I finished listening, I stood up and walked to the window. Cheng Yangju is my cousin. Our marriage is a farce founded on blood ties. Song Mingyuan stole Cheng Yangju, and 34 years later, he told me the truth. Zhu Guoliang lost 20 billion, and was squeezed by Song Mingyuan for half a lifetime. These secrets have been buried under the Song Foundation for more than 30 years. Now they have all been dug up. I picked up my phone and dialed Fang Yu's number. Submit Zhu Guoliang's confession to the Canadian police for 20 billion. Recover as much as possible. Yes, and one more thing, seal up Cheng Yangju's DNA report. Don't let He Yuji know she's already lost her son. Don't let her find out that this son was never hers from the start. Understood? After hanging up, my daughter's cries came from the nursery. I went in and picked her up. Her little face was scrunched up and she was crying with all her might. I held her and stood by the window for a long time. Her father is her paternal cousin, in her blood, two people who should not mingle flow, but she doesn't know anything. She only knows when she's hungry she wants to eat, when she's sleepy she wants to sleep, when she's scared she wants to be held. Baby. I pressed my face to her little cheek. Mommy will not care whose child you are. You are Mommy's daughter, that's enough. 3 months later, New Cheng Technology has completed its renaming, and its stock price has returned to the level before divestment. After Fang Yu became chairman, 3 business lines that were blindly expanded during Cheng Yangju's era were cut, focusing on core technology development. When the Q4 earnings report came out, net profit increased by 47% year-on-year. The board unanimously approved a new round of equity incentive plans. The beneficiaries are no longer executives, but the core technology team, Fang Yu said on the board. Cheng Yangju's era depended on one person. New Cheng Technology's era depends on a group of people. Within the Song Family Fund, Zhu Guoliang recovered 30 billion out of 200 billion embezzled. The remaining amount he Lost gradually over 30 years at Macau casinos, Canadian police arrested Zhu Guoliang for money laundering. Considering his age and health, the court ordered him to serve the sentence outside of prison and banned him from leaving the country for life. Fang Deming was sentenced to 12 years. Fang's Industrial's bankruptcy liquidation remaining assets will be used to repay creditors pro rata. Fang Ruheking returned to the hometown with her child and started a baby shop with the 3 million yuan. From the Song Foundation, on the day of the opening, she sent me a photo. She was holding the child at the shop entrance. The signboard read newborn baby. He usually lived in a rental for 3 months. Cheng Yanzhou's case, first instance verdict, embezzlement of funds proven, a fixed-term imprisonment of 4 years. He stated in court that he would not appeal. Cheng Dehu's stroke occurred on the 3rd day after the sentencing, leaving him half paralyzed. He usually brought him to the rental house, taking care of him alone. Fang Yu visits once a month. She comes back to report to me. He usually set up a sewing stall at the entrance of the neighborhood, altering pants and replacing zippers. She makes a few dozen yuan a day. How is Cheng Dehu's recovery going? He can walk a few steps with a cane. He usually supports him every day and they take a lap around the neighborhood. What about Cheng Yangju, working a sewing machine in the prison garment factory? He usually said he steps better than her. I didn't ask any more. The letters Cheng Yangju wrote to Fang Yu always forwarded to me. The letters never mentioned the past, only asked if the daughter was well. Fang Yu asked me how to reply. I said, tell him the daughter is fine. She can smile now, she can roll over, she has grown 2 teeth. Fang Yu replied accordingly. In the next letter, Cheng Yangju drew a painting. The painting is crooked and it is a little tiger. Beside it there is a line of words, Dad is a tiger and the daughter is also a tiger. I put that painting into the drawer. On the day the daughter reached half a year old, the Song Family Foundation held its annual meeting. More than 300 investors gathered in one hall. When I walked into the venue with my daughter, everyone stood up on the dais. My father's seat was empty. After he fell gravely ill, he never attended any of the foundation's activities again. Fang Yu read the annual report on his behalf. When she reached the final paragraph, her voice faltered briefly. This year the Song Foundation has experienced its most serious internal crisis since its establishment. Vice President Song Mingyuan and former Chief Financial Officer Zhu Guoliang were respectively found to have seriously violated laws and disciplines, involving an amount of 35 billion yuan. The fund's risk control system has been comprehensively upgraded, and all historical vulnerabilities have been fixed. Here, the Fund Management Committee solemnly commits to all investors, the Song Family Fund's assets are cleaner than ever. The applause lasted for a long time. After the meeting, I walked out of the venue holding my daughter. A crowd of reporters surrounded the entrance. Microphones were thrust forward. General Song, the case of Cheng Yangju was sentenced to 4 years. What do you think? Whatever the law decides, that's how I see it. After you divorced him and Cheng Technologies was renamed New Cheng Technologies, does that mean Cheng Yanzhou's era is completely over? Cheng Yanzhou's era ended the day he submitted the divorce papers at the Civil Affairs Office. Do you hate him? I watch that reporter. A contrary, hatred is too laborious. I have a daughter to raise, a 30 billion fund to manage and a business empire to inherit. I don't have time to hate him. The reporters take notes swiftly. President Song, there are rumors that Cheng Yangju is not the biological son of the Cheng family. Is that true? Fang Yu stood in front of me. No comment. I patted Fang Yu's shoulder, signaling her to move aside. It's true. The whole room fell silent. Cheng Yanzhou's biological father is Song Huaishan, a collateral branch member of the Song family. 34 years ago, Song Huaishan and his wife died in a car accident, leaving behind Cheng Yangju, who was just 1 month old at the time. Song Mingyuan, then vice president of the Song Foundation, took the child from the Song family and handed him over to Cheng Dehu and his wife. Cheng Yangju himself only learned about this 3 months ago. Journalists frantically snapped their shutters. And your marriage to Cheng Yangju? According to blood relation, he is my cousin. Our marriage has always been null and void in the eyes of the law. And what about your daughter? I held my daughter tightly. My daughter is mine, it has nothing to do with anyone else. The reporters wanted to keep asking questions, but Fang Yu had already cleared the way. I got into the car with my daughter. The car door closed, shutting out the noise outside. My daughter fell asleep in my arms. Her tiny hand clutched my collar, gripping it tightly. 6 Months ago she gripped my finger just like this in the delivery room. That day I lost my marriage, emptied 10 billion, exposed the mole, and recovered the truth stolen for 34 years. That day I got her, worth it. The phone lit up briefly. Fang Yu sent a message. Miss Song Mingyuan committed suicide in prison. I held my phone and didn't move. Earlier this morning, he twisted a bedsheet into a rope and hung it from the window. They found him during rounds this morning. He was no longer breathing. He left a letter written to you. There's only one sentence in the letter. The Song family's secrets don't end here. Outside the car window, the city lights flickered on one by one. I pulled my daughter closer into my arms. Song Mingyuan died. He was buried in the ground with his unspoken secret. The Song family's secret does not end there. What other secrets are there? Who else is hiding secrets? The phone lit up again. Fang Yu sent a second image. It was a photo of Song Mingyuan's suicide note. The handwriting was scrawled, just one line. Song Ci, your mother did not die of illness, she was killed by someone. The culprit is still in the Song family. The car stopped at the crossroads, red light. I stared at those lines for a long time. The green light turned on, the car continued to move forward. I flipped my phone over and tucked it on my lap. My daughter smiled in her sleep, not knowing what she dreamt. I lowered my head and kissed her forehead. Baby, Mom might have to start the second round of liquidation. She slept very deeply, she knew nothing. The end.